Welcome to vocabularies.
Today's top stories are about a major U.S. China trade truce and urgent talks on AI-powered weapons at the United Nations. Ready? Here we go. Story number 1. U.S. and China agree to 90-day tariff truce. A tariff is a tax that a government adds to goods coming into the country from abroad. For example, if the U.S. puts a tariff on Chinese products, it means those products become more expensive to buy in the U.S. A truce is an agreement between two sides to stop fighting or arguing for a certain time. In this context, it refers to the U.S. and China agreeing to pause their trade dispute for 90 days.
The United States and China have reached a temporary agreement to reduce the high tariffs they recently imposed on each other.
To impose means to officially put a rule, tax, or punishment in place. For instance, a government can impose tariffs on imported goods.
The U.S. lowered its tariffs on Chinese goods from 145% to 30%, while China reduced its tariffs on U.S. products from 125% to 10%. This 90-day pause is intended to allow both countries to continue negotiations and avoid further economic damage.
Economic damage refers to harm caused to a country's economy, such as loss of jobs, reduced trade, or lower profits for businesses.
While this agreement has led to a positive reaction in global markets, with significant gains in stock indexes like the S&P 500 and Dow Jones, experts caution that the underlying issues between the two nations remain unresolved.
Underlying issues are the main problems that are not immediately obvious, but are the real cause of a situation. In this case, despite the truce, the main disagreements between the U.S. and China still exist.
The temporary nature of the deal means that businesses and consumers still face uncertainty about future trade relations.
Now, a quick checkpoint to see how much you understood the story. What was the main purpose of the 90-day tariff truce between the U.S. and China? A. To permanently eliminate all tariffs. B. To allow time for further negotiations. C. To increase tariffs on European goods. The answer is B. The 90-day truce is meant to provide a window for continued talks between the U.S. and China. So, you've heard the story. Now let's go a little deeper. What are the potential risks if the two countries fail to reach a long-term trade agreement? Tell me your thoughts in the comments or hit the pause button right there and just say it out loud. Now let's move on. Story number 2. Nations meet at UN for killer robot talks as regulation lags. Regulation means official rules made by authorities to control how something is done. For example, governments may create regulations for how companies use technology.
Countries are gathering at the United Nations to discuss the regulation of autonomous weapons, often referred to as killer robots.
Autonomous weapons are machines designed for war that can operate on their own without human control. They use artificial intelligence to make decisions.
These are weapon systems that can operate without direct human control, using artificial intelligence to make decisions. Such systems have already been used in conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza. Despite the growing use of these technologies, there are currently no binding international laws governing their deployment.
Binding refers to something that must be followed by law or agreement. A binding decision means all parties are legally required to follow it.
While many nations support creating global regulations, key players like the U.S., Russia, China, and India prefer to rely on national guidelines. Human rights groups warn that without international agreements, the use of autonomous weapons could lead to violations of human rights and spark a new arms race.
An arms race is a competition between countries to build more powerful weapons. Each side tries to outdo the other, leading to more and more weapons being made. Now, a quick checkpoint to see how much you understood the story. What is the main concern about autonomous weapons discussed at the UN? A. They are too expensive to produce. B. They may operate without meaningful human control. C. They are ineffective in modern warfare. The answer is B. The primary concern is that these weapons can function without significant human oversight, raising ethical and safety issues. Now that you've got the gist of it, here's something to think about. Should there be international laws regulating the use of autonomous weapons, or should individual countries decide? So, that's all for today's stories. If you enjoyed today's video, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for more stories.